In the year 2028, one Big Mac will equal $1 million. From the Gospel of John McAfee. Bro, just learn to code. The Project Freedom Podcast.
Boom. Hello, I'm Josh, and welcome to the Project Freedom Podcast, episode number 15, where we discuss anything and everything that has to do with sovereign individualism and living the life that you want to live. And tonight's topic, guys, is labeled Hard Times Create Decentralization. Would that ring a bell to anybody in here? Hard times create something. Let me take a quick shout out to people in the house. Cody Mouse says, decentralize me, daddy. Indeed. Cody Moose in the Who's. Time Graph says, game time. Yes, indeed. Sam Brzezinski says, Sam saying yes sticker. Indeed. Wade Emery, what's up, my friend? Orange pill emojis in the chat. Christian Soto, what's up, guys? Nice to see you guys in here. Nice and early. All right, so what exactly does this topic mean? I'm sure everybody has heard the whole phrase. Well, actually, maybe you guys might not have heard the phrase. It's an old phrase, and it basically goes along the lines, somewhere along the lines of hard times create tough men create good times create hard men. I might not have gotten that completely right, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about, right? And there's kind of like this cyclical element to it, per se. And if we look back at human history, and again, guys, I'm no historian. I don't have a college degree in history or whatever, right? Not that that would even mean anything anymore these days. My dad actually has a degree in history, but that was way back in the elder boomer times when that might have meant something. But if you go back in history and you look, there's kind of like this cyclical nature to humanity, and we've pretty much constantly been in this little cyclical cycle. In the most recent times, one could say, okay, well, actually, let's go back a little bit further than recent. I'm actually thinking now along the lines of the country that I currently live in. All right, the United States of America. So where did this country's inception come from? It came from basically a bunch of pilgrims and whatever you wanted to call them, right? A bunch of dudes, guys and gals, children, horses, whatever, came to basically colonize the northeast coast of America, right? And when they came here, they were part of different citizenships, or they had different citizenships to different countries in Europe, right? In particular, what was known as England now, or Great Britain, right? Tom Graff says the British Chads. Yeah, I mean they were basically British, right? For all intents and purposes, these people were British. So. And also around the same time too, we had kind of what was guys? You guys, if I don't know the term, let me know. But it was basically when the Christian religion, the Catholic religion, was kind of split into all kinds of different subsets of Christianity, right? Away from the centralization or the centralized authority of the Pope, right? Or at least the king. Well, it actually started. I think, guys, and again, I'm not a historian, right? But I believe it started with, at least in England, it started with the Protestant Reformation, right? Or something like that. The King of England actually tried to, basically say that he was the authority from God at the time because he didn't want to accept whatever rules the Pope was giving out at the time. Protestant Reformation, thank you, Sam Brzezinski. Indeed, it was the Protestant Reformation, right? Clay Buster says, Reformation, baby, ... Martin Luther. Okay, so good. We have some educated people in here. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? And so basically, what was going on during this time period was a not so much organized, but a semi-organized, decentralized movement, right? And then, throughout time, eventually, we fought a war with the King of England. The whole no TAXATION. Without representation. I gotta be afraid to say that word on here. I probably shouldn't feel like that, but I do. I feel like saying that word is wrong. But it just goes to show you what kind of world we live in now. But yeah, guys. So around this time, all that stuff was happening, right? And why is it, do you guys think that when these different unionized states came together, they were pretty much just like, all right, we're going to be basically just a union of different states, right? The United States of America. That's the name, right? That was the name given to this entity. And basically, like the initial idea was that, okay, so we're going to have all these different states, and if you guys like this, then go where this is in this state. If you guys like that, go where that is in that state. If you want this law, go over here. If you want that law, go over here. We basically aren't, us being the government, the federal government at the time. I'm not even sure. Excuse me. I'm not even sure if it was considered federal at all or whatever. The idea was that they were only supposed to really serve two jobs. And was basically to protect and unite the whole country under the military. So in case we were, had to go through what they had just gone through with the war, and I guess also and actually, guys, I might even be wrong about this. I wouldn't be surprised if this is incorrect, but I guess it was to be able to like supply money and aid in case of an emergency to any of these places. Okay. But I'm actually assuming that was wrong, because I don't think that I don't believe there was like federal tax until like the 1930s, I think. All right. But anyway, the specifics don't matter. Okay. The point is that this had come from, we can go back to this part of the cycle and we can consider this just like the beginning, right? But it really wasn't. And this cycle was repeated multiple times throughout history, okay? And where did it come to fruition out of? It basically came to fruition because, we were under, not just us, basically the entire world was under kind of like the rule of a centralized authority, right? If you were in England or in Europe or whatever country you most likely were, you were obligated to pay homage and tax and listen and obey to the rules of your serf, or if you were a serf, to your lord, and your lord to the bishops, and the bishops to the king, and the king to the pope, right? So basically just through one central point of authority, right? And why did this change? Obviously because, when people have too much power over, when a small subset of people have too much power over a majority of people, things just don't usually end up right? It's a matter. It's just. I don't know if it's because of human nature. I don't know if because they just don't like normal people who they would consider beneath them. But throughout history, it's never really completely benefited people that were beneath that what we could call it the elite, the class of the elite, right? And people eventually just started waking up, and they were like, "Hey, wait a second, this is dumb. We actually are free to go do whatever we want. We just have these quote unquote barriers in our way that are preventing us or making us feel like we can't do anything other than what they tell us to do, right?" And then what happened? Then we had, World War I and World War II, and then all the stuff that was going on in the 1970s and the 1980s. And as soon as all this stuff happened, we started completing that cycle and starting over again. And we've just basically, since then, we've basically been leaning more towards a centralized point of authority. And if you guys think about it, like regardless of whether or not you live in the United States or in Europe or in Canada, you're pretty much all like, the laws are pretty much all the same. There might be some difference in nuances in here and there, but like, what is the United Nations? What is all these different trade groups that all these countries have? I mean, we're essentially completely centralized right now, right? And so what have we been seeing in recent times? We've been seeing, the whole VIRUS, right? And what happened there? Well, basically, like, regardless of what the states wanted to do, initially they were told, okay, you guys have to like basically close everything down, and no one's allowed to go outside. No one's allowed to do this or that or yada, yada, yada. Burp, 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 right? And because why? Well, because we have this guy, and let's pull a picture for you guys. Let's look at this guy. Maybe I shouldn't pull up this picture. because maybe the algorithm would get angry pulling up this picture. But anyway, we're gonna do it because fuck it. Fuck it. Who cares, right? Right, boys. Fuck them. All right. So basically, this guy right here, this colorful character, if you guys can see on the screen in about right now, this guy was like, hey, nobody should be doing anything other than what I say. So it's of utmost importance that you guys do exactly what I say everywhere in the entire world. If not, then you are an awful, awful, awful person, and you are a bunch of different adjectives, right? Regardless whether or not the area, the state, the country, the city, or whatever didn't want to do those things, they felt obligated to do it, and thus they did it. And so then what happened? People lost their jobs. People were going insane. People were dying of drug overdoses. People were committing suicide. Probably shouldn't even say that word either. All right. All kinds of madness started coming about, right, guys? And so naturally, people started thinking to themselves, I wonder that place in the bottom right hand corner of the country, it's not so bad over there. I heard they're letting people do normal people things, and people aren't dying in the streets. Maybe that other place, the Lone Star place, hey, people are things are pretty nice over there. Where we're currently at, it's not so great. What if we just I don't know, why are we here? Why are we here anyway? I mean, the whole world's changing. Everyone's just potentially going to lose their jobs. So why don't we just get the fuck up and leave and go where things are, or places that are going to treat us better? And that's what people did. People moved. People had this mass exodus from all these cities. And if you guys go and look online, I mean, look at videos of parts of New York and parts of California that were once vibrant and booming. They're all kind of desolate now, right? And yeah, why is that? Because those people just left. They just left. A lot of people were working from home, working remote, and they realized, hey, I'm not bound to one centralized location anymore. I can go and pick up and leave if I want because I'm a free individual. Last time I checked, under the Constitution, probably shouldn't even say that, guys. I probably shouldn't even say that word on here either, right? It's probably bad for me to do that. So that's what's been going on, guys. Let me check with the chat again. Osa Chain says #boom orange pill licky tongue emoji. Antonio says sub killers. Clay says Reformation baby Martin Luther. Oh, I did read that. And Chan Perchinsky says Andrew Jackson killed the first bank. Yes, he did. He did. Because they had initially tried to come here, and he was like, that's not cool. We already know where that ends up, right? So I'm going to tell you guys y'all's future. Okay, I'm going to look into the future, and I'm gonna look into my crystal ball, guys, and I'm gonna read the future for you. Okay, I'm gonna make a wild, rash prediction. All right. So here's what I predict. I predict that we are now in that part of the cycle. The easy times create good times, create weak men. Weak men have already created hard times, and so we're in that hard times period. And I believe that we're going to be transitioning to the hard times create strong men. All right. Now, why do I think that? Well, first and foremost, look at everything that's going on in the world right now. It's an absolute madhouse, right? It's total fucking chaos, right? I probably shouldn't even mention. I know at least Sam Perchinsky in the chat over here. He knows some of the stuff that's going on out there, and I'm not talking about tinfoil hat stuff, guys. I'm talking about just things that are just hot topics or whatever, right? And it's basically a bunch of fuckery, okay? Everyone's running around like chickens with their head cut off. There's all kinds of whacking being done. People are fighting each other in the streets. People are doing all kinds of stupid shit. No one's wanting to work. Everyone's wanting to get their USD airdrops, right? The government is acting as if they have absolute no logical thought process to anything they do at all. In fact, it's almost as if they're doing the exact opposite of what's logical on purpose. But I actually don't think they're doing any of these things on purpose. All right. What I think is that, so since I just claimed that we're in those quote unquote hard times, which inevitably create strong men, Who created these hard times? So as the old saying goes, good times create weak men create hard times create strong men. So the weak men created the times that we are in now. All right. And who are the weak men? Not to boomer bash or anything, because it's not just the boomers, it's the generation before them as well, slightly, but and the ones after them too, and the millennials too. My age generation is guilty of that as well. But essentially, okay, so we have been, and we're kind of leaning now in America, at least, towards a post production side. Like, what does America produce anymore, guys? What does America produce anymore? We don't produce jack diddly squat. We all know where everything's getting produced at, right? It certainly isn't here. And essentially everybody that is a professional in America right now, I'd say probably 80% of people that are professionals in America now do not produce anything. All of academia, everybody that's in academia basically has had no production to society because they haven't been in the real world, right? I had a talk in one of my webinars the other night, and we were talking about how, specifically speaking about computer science school. In the computer science school I went to, all the professors there, none of them have ever worked as a real programmer. So they could not begin to tell you, if you were to go to them and you're like, hey, I want to make this application that does X, Y, and Z. Where do we start? They'd be like, I don't know. I only know theoretical computational science. I mean, they wouldn't tell you that, right? But the only thing that they've studied is theoretical computational science. The only thing they know is traversing binary trees, which is something that you would never do in the real world, honestly. Or if you did, it would be very seldom, right? And why is that? Because they literally never had to work in the real world or give anything of production to society in their life other than just academia. Okay. Basically, I don't know if you guys know anything about Puerto Rico. Perfect example outside of academia, the government. Puerto Rico is not the most Puerto Rico is basically kind of what we consider to be slightly impoverished, okay, without me being mean about it. But they definitely don't live the same pamperified standard of life that people in the U.S. do, right? They're kind of close to I'd say they're probably a second world country, right? Whatever. All right. And they basically, their power gets shut off at nighttime, right? Because they just don't have the money or the resources to be circulating power grids throughout the entire country 24 hours, 365, like us pampered Americans do. Okay. And we had one of our politicians from the United States over there had some kind of proposition to basically shut down one of their power plants. And they were saying that, hey, it's only going to shut down 20% of power supply in the entire country, which, by the way, already has a problem with their power supply, right? All right. So 20%, almost 1/4. Okay. And they were this lady, and if you guys want to take a guess who this lady is, I'll leave some hints. She's basically very angry all the time. She's younger, she's hip, she's cool, she's really trendy. Everybody loves her. She was a dancer before, a bartender or whatever. This lady. But hey, promise, it's not gonna, that 20%, it's not gonna affect them at all. But we gotta cut this out because it's bad for the environment. Forget about these people. The environment's more important. So rationally thinking, top of your head, you would say, all right, 20%, and it's not going to affect their electricity at all. You're an idiot. How can you be so dumb? And I can tell you why. Because this person has never had to bring any sort of production into the world in their life. They never had to do anything outside of academia. Okay? Never had to do anything other than dancing circus and academia and, dancing monkey, right? That's it. Just whatever it keeps the entertainment. Okay. And so, I could go on and on with these, with probably different sort of people like this, right? But the point is, pretty much everyone that's in any sort of seat of power right now has completely out of touch with reality, does not know what it's like to be in the real world. Okay. And nothing that they do is productive or of positive value. And so we have basically grown into a giant cancerous glob of a country that does nothing but just suck and leech and take and rip and tear from the earth that it lays barren in. And people are starting to realize, like, this is fucking retarded. This is dumb. Like, I'm hardworking. I'm capable. I'm able. I'm intelligent. I'm willing to, go the extra mile. Why am I letting this stupidity bound me to this inferior life that I, quite frankly, don't want to partake in? And so these people are starting to make drastic life changes. They're moving. They're changing jobs. They're changing careers. They're trying to do things that add value to the world and to themselves because they want to live a better life, right? And what else do we have going on as well? What is the current world reserve currency? I mean, do I need, you guys that have been here in my show before, do I need to go any further? Right? It's about as centralized as it gets. And what are people doing? El Salvador, without trying to be too much of a maxi on you guys, I mean, the truth is the truth. Countries are literally, one country, El Salvador, has already decided to use the boomer coin right here as a legal tender in their country. Why do you think they did that? Why do you think they did that? Do you think they did that to be on social media? Do you think that they did that to just be cool and hip and trendy? Because it's actually quite, I would say that this guy is quite hated and not cool and hip and trendy. This guy right here is about as hated as the orange man was. All right. And this is also orange. So you guys know anything that's orange is automatically not good, right? And what are people doing other than them? Like, people are starting to try to escape into not just this guy, but all kinds of other things like him, right? Because they're afraid that the centralized mechanism for which their wealth and their assets are held are just basically being faltered by the shitty point of centralization, which is the good old US dollar, right? So I think the future, I think we're in that part of the cycle where we're just like exiting out of that, or about to be exiting out of that, and going right back to where we started. All right, right back to where we started, 1776. Call it whatever the fuck you want. All right, and if you guys, and I'm just going back to like the birth of the Americas, right? Like, if we go back even further to like the Renaissance, I mean, it's all kind of the same stuff, right? Okay. Let me cover the chat again, my friends. Tom Graff says post World War II generation. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much like everyone alive. I mean, there's very few World War II people that are still alive, right? And then Tom says soy. Yes, indeed. Clay Buster says U.S. produces consumers. Yeah, dude, that's all we do is produce consumers. That's it. What else, guys? What else do we produce? I mean, okay. I'm sure we produce something, right? But I mean, do we produce any products? I mean, like, this is about the most American company that you can get, and this is not made here, right? I don't think anything on my desk was made here. All right, I'm being legitimately serious right now. Most of the cars on the street are not made here, right? We don't. I mean, man. Like, I really can't think of anything that we produce here. If I'm wrong, someone let me know in the chat. Blockchain Max says, what is up? What is up, my dude? Max Dignitas says, they can solve the towers of Hanobi, but they can't write a payroll application. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, guys, come on. It's getting ridiculous. Like, I venture to say most of the jobs in the United States that aren't like entrepreneurial based, or some sort of like hard science based, or some sort of like service based, and or some sort of knowledge work based job is just zombie jobs. I mean, just to keep these companies alive, essentially. Like, when's the last time Heather in HR did something like productive for society other than just cause drama, right? Christian says Tesla is pretty American. It is pretty American, but are Tesla vehicles created in the United States. I'm pretty sure they're made in Canada, right? Let's see. Let's look that up, Christian. That's a good point. Where are Tesla cars made? Let's see. Tesla's factory in Fremont, California is one of the world's most advanced automotive plants. All right, so there we go. Okay, so that's one. All right, and that's a good point. And we need more than we need more like this, right? We need more. Didn't they move though from California? They moved to like Texas or something, or maybe their office. Here's a quote. It's worth noting that Tesla is the only major automaker to claim 100% domestic production for all cars. Okay, so we have one car manufacturing brand company that produces all their cars in America. Just one. All right. So just one. All right. But yeah, you're right about that. I'll give you kudos on that. Then he says, China could destroy us in a week with an embargo if they could afford it. Yeah, they could. I mean, look at the stuff that happened with like the Suez Canal. Guys, I'm also like very, very. I think all that stuff's very, very sus, right? Like, you mean you're gonna tell me that we can go to Mars, but we can't unclog an embargo barge from this canal? Come on. And that's the reason why we have the supply chain products problem. It's got nothing to do with the money going on. Claybuster says, in reality, we grow food, a lot of GMO food. Okay, we do grow food, but we also, as far as like ratio of the food that we import and export, we import way more food than we export, right? So like, that's not good. That's kind of like, well, that's definitely not good. If you want to take GDP into consideration, like we have more coming in than we have going out, right? Which is kind of like not what you want to do, right? Well, I'll put it to you like this. After I take this fine, delicious sip of this LaCroix that was probably not made here at all. By the way, guys, limoncello flavor. Where is this made? Let's see. Where's my LaCroix made, guys? Do I need to put an embargo on LaCroix? Do I need to say, let's see. Industrial Boulevard, Bayward, California, but I don't know if it was made here. I mean, that's just where the company is, but man, that's good. All right, Clay. So like, put it to you like this. Like, okay, you have a business, right? And what is the company? The business has like 10 employees, or it has whatever X amount of employees, right? It has to pay for all of them to work and facilitate their life, and it also has to keep after the company's life and the company's balance sheet alive after the fact, right? So the goal is, and the only way to do that is to take in more than you are putting out, right? So you have to charge more and make a profit on the services and or products you push out. And we aren't doing that. We're doing the opposite. So it's basically like if this country was ran like a business, which if it was, it would be a lot better, but it's not. It's ran like a nonprofit, I guess one could say. Then we're doing an awful job at it, right? Max Sigita said, I thought Corvettes were all American. I do not believe that General Motors produces mini cars here at all. If they produce the Corvette here, they produce the Corvette here. Okay, that's like what? That's one car that they produce here out of like how many cars does General Motors make? Sorry, Chevrolet, not General Motors. How many cars they make? I mean, okay, that's a pretty American car too. I feel like that thing should be fucking made here, right? Excuse me. But all right, I'll use another. What's another like pretty American car? The Dodge Hellcat. That's not even made here. It's made in fucking Canada and in Mexico. So like, shiver me timbers. Christina says, during height of CO Crab 19, we'll just say Crab 19, we ran out of MASKS. CHINA turned their ships carrying MASKS around to supply themselves. We definitely need more manufacturing here. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, 100%. Clay Buster says, LaCroix is from Wisconsin. What's on the can is the distributor. Yeah, that's the office, right? Christina says, one hurricane destroyed most of Americans' medicine manufacturers in Puerto Rico, technically USA. Hospitals were very low for months and months for vital medicines. Yeah, I mean, like, that, there's no excuse for that, right? Like, okay. So, like, And why did this happen? Why did this happen? Because we have basically just been being ran by people who are weak. The weak men part of the cycle, all right? And they don't have the real world. The real world is they have no concept of the real world. Okay, they literally live in clown world. Literally, like now because of that, we all have to live in clown world with them unless we decide to take action in our own hands and then make our own decisions. Then we can be free from clown world. But these people they don't have any perception of reality. Because why? Because they were raised in an amazing gated neighborhood, right? Not like there's anything wrong with being in a gated neighborhood. They had no problems, no crime. They never had to deal with anything violent in nature. They never had to deal with nature, period, because nature is violent. It is. You ever seen how a lion eats its food? They've never had to deal with anything because the entire world was just nice for that little time period, that part of the cycle where strong men create good times, right? So they were in the good time cycle, and thus they don't know how to handle any of this stuff. So that's why the things that are actually on their agenda, it's just theatrics. It's just things that don't mean anything, nothing that matters, right? How can we please people the most? How can we make people feel the most comfortable? They're not worried about how can we help people out the most. What's the most logical, rational, reasonable decision to do with all this money that we printed? Should we even be printing money? Nope. Let's just, hey, everybody, you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a college degree, and you don't have to pay any of your student loans, and you don't have to work, and you don't have to do any of this, and you, and you, and you. And how does that help the progression of society? Does it? Or does it hurt us? Then Christina goes on to say, yep, they want to make huge profits at the risk of our country. Having majority manufactured overseas is literally a national security risk. Yeah. The world's cruel. We need to be prepared. Yeah, I mean, and that's another thing. Like, you can't take that. You have to take that at this point. It's like you got to take that in your own hands. Like, like now it's on to us to have to accommodate for that if we care and want to be, if we care and want to be safe, then it's time to become sovereign, right? If we want freedom, we need to chase that sovereignty, which is why this podcast is called the Project Freedom Podcast. Vladimir Perez Jr. says, we see the cycle in radio, TV, video streaming. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I don't know where I mean, I'm sure we could probably, what I pronounced your name wrong. I said Vladimir, and I see this Waldemar. Well, Mr. I'll just say Mr. Perez. Mr. Perez, I'm assuming that we could probably go back and look at we can go back and look at throughout the decades the type of average type of show, and maybe the average type of music that was on the radio since the 1920s. I'm sure during the Great Depression they were playing some different things than they were now, right? I mean, look at. Well, we won't talk about current music because I think it's garbage. Radio was centralized, then TV, cable TV, and then the internet decentralized video. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Boom. All right, all right, guys, everybody get your hands out right now. Let's clap for this man. Mr. Perez got the first round of applause tonight. Good job. Yeah, I mean, that was spot on. That's literally exactly what happened. And I would venture to argue the internet is web one is the I don't know how I'm watching my show for, but web one is basically the decentralization of information, right? And communications, and web two was the decentralization of networking and social networking, and also the decentralization of the industrial decentralization. So taking industries and mobilizing them in code, et cetera, et cetera. And then web three is basically that same thing, but to everything, but to a hyper extreme, and also including finance. The final thing that has not been completely decentralized yet. And obviously we know why it's not been that's been done yet, right? Because you think the guy on the beginning of on my thumbnail wanted any of this stuff wanted the stuff that's going on right now to happen? Definitely not. Max Dignitas claps for you too, my friend. Yeah, definitely. That was a smart comment. I'm very happy that I read that. All right, so let's talk about. We know the problem. We can sit on it and harp on it all day. Let's talk about what the future would look like. So I don't know what you guys think, but I'm going to like hedge my bets in the fact that the quote unquote sovereign ones, whatever you guys want to say, whatever you guys want to put the old label on, they're going to be even more amplified to want to have that sovereignty, have that freedom, right? And what are they going to do? They're going to keep pushing. They're going to keep pushing further, right? They're going to keep doing what they can for freedom for themselves, and they're going to be facilitated to be able to do that because now we have technology is opening up the doors for everybody, right? And so I think that's going to continue. But I would venture to say that at this point, it's probably less than 20% of the population, right? And probably the rest of the 80% right now, I would say, are still kind of like, let me see. Can I share my screen and show this? I don't really know. Let me see. Let's see. This is the rest of population right now. Let me see, guys. Don't want to get myself in trouble over here for y'all. Oh no, it won't let me do that without it exiting. Anyway, you guys know the meme with the robots, the NP letter that I'm not going to say because it would be just mean for me to call people that. The rest of the population is like that, right? They're just me you will not divide us, even though like everyone is like as. And the funny thing is when people were so angry at the Orange Man talking about he isn't going to divide us. I mean, I've never seen humanity more divided than I have in my entire life. Now, keep in mind, I'm only 29 and a half years old, so it's not still kind of a spring chicken, but like people are a lot more divided now than they were when I was little. When I was little, like, man, we were all on the school ground kicking each other's ass. We didn't care, we didn't care what you looked like, what you did, where you're from. We didn't care what you were, who you did, as long as you loved us. And then Mr. Press says, we will see the same with the power grid moving forward as hard times hit, decentralization of power. Yeah, I think that's kind of important, right? Because what else too? What else another problem? Like, okay, so like if you have a problem with your electric company and there's only one in your state and they do a piss poor job at customer service, let's just say they bill you $3,000 on accident every month for an entire year. Who are you going to complain to? If they're just like, sorry, there's nothing we can do about it. Are you going to go and tell the government and to help you? That's great. You're going to go to your local city ordinance and ask for help. I'm sure they care a lot. If you guys don't know my background, I'm from the good old city of New Orleans, Louisiana. And man, let me tell you about that governmental ordinance over there. Basically, like the sewage and water board is now like the sewage and water board in that city and also in Jackson, Mississippi is basically just free now for everybody. I mean, they're going out of business, and that's why that city floods. That's why Hurricane Katrina happened, by the way, because they're fucking trash. But anyway, basically they started losing money, and so they were doing whatever wrong, and everyone just started getting charged thousands of dollars every cycle for their bills. And then people were like, I'm not paying that. And so they don't even send bills out to people anymore. So basically, if they're gone, if and when they finally go out of business, say goodbye to your water in that city and anywhere else, right? And so like things like that, like since that's run by the government, what can you do if you have a problem with the service they give you? That's the thing. You have to pay them, and you don't get to. There's no competition for them to be able to give you good customer service. They can steal your money. They can lie. They can, do whatever they want. And who are you going to complain to? Them? Have you guys ever had to go into the DMV? If you go to the sewage and water department, it's like that, but worse. So trust me, they don't care, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sergio's Abute says, I just started reading The Sovereign Individual, and shit is going to get crazy in the future. Yeah, it is. But I think if you actually read that, if you finish reading it, it's got a good message to it, right? So in the end, it all works out, right? It's just that part of the cycle, the cyclical cycle. I don't even know if that's a word pair that should be used, but it's part of the cycle of human nature, right? Like, hard men create good times create weak men create bad times create strong men, right? So eventually, when the strong men are finished in that book, the strong men and women, or whatever you want to call it, the strong pink, purple, polka dotted dinosaurs, the strong rainbow people, when they're finished, fighting the fight, what happens? What has always happened throughout humanity? What has always happened throughout the history of humanity? They create good times, right? And then it happens all over again. So at least we have a predictive indicator of what's going to happen, right? Unless of course, I don't know, aliens come and then we're all just like taken up on the interstellar spaceship to good old alien land. Who knows? Tom Graff says state of Texas has its own grid, and that screwed us during the quote unquote freeze earlier this year. Yeah, I heard all kinds of stuff about that, dude. And it's one of those things like, why even? And this is gonna sound really stupid, guys. All right, I'm just prepare yourselves, all right. But then I'll back it up with an actual reason why I think this way. Why even depend on your city or state, let alone the federal country, like the federal government? Why would you depend on any of them for your electricity, right? Just get a fucking power generator. Get one or two. I'm really not kidding. You want to know why I said that? I grew up my 8th grade year of life. The city of New Orleans was basically without electricity for almost like a year and a half, or it was a long time that I lived in that city, coming back from that hurricane, and basically just a moldy house with no power, right? And now everyone in that entire city, everyone, including the impoverished people, have a fucking power generator. And I mean a gas powered generator, right? And everybody in that whole city has canned food. Everybody in the whole city has got MREs. They got AMMO. They all have got, everyone there is preppers. And it's just because it's just like, they're just used to getting fucked by hurricanes, right? So, yeah, I mean, obviously it would be nice to depend on just your state to be able to provide electricity for you, but I don't want to do that, right? I would get a power generator, right? Christina says, if 3D printing keeps progressing, we may have decentralized basic household goods. That would be amazing. You want to know why it's not progressed? Because we have already had the technology to like basically like, okay, to print synthetic wood. When my senior year of school, I had to take a 3D printing class, and I had to like do all kinds of stuff. And one of the coolest things I did was I basically had to get this synthetic wood, and it was actually like 30% wood and like 70% polyurethane or whatever, right? It was a bunch of different chemicals, but it basically looked, smelled, and felt just like wood. And when you printed it out, like I could literally print like wood, whatever, right? I printed a wood phone case, right? Phone stand, excuse me. And the reason why it's not is because the same reason why, guys, like honestly, guys, this is going to sound super tinfoil hat, but all right, everyone put on the metaphorical tinfoil hat. Okay, so everything I say is not real and it's all just inside of a video game, right? Guys, we can go to Mars, and you guys think that we still need gasoline powered vehicles? Like, why do you think the cars still run off of gasoline? And by the way, I'm not being biased in any way, shape, or form. I own a 5.0 liter V8 Mustang, and I've owned V8s for like the last 4 cars that I have. So trust me, I love my gasoline powered cars. Trust me. You can ask people that I know personally if I would ever get the electric Mustang, and I said, if you guys ever see me driving that thing, like just take me out back and pound me out like a mallard duck, because that's not really me, all right? But the fact of the matter is, I don't believe that we need gasoline powered cars. I think that we could probably there's something out there that's cheaper and more efficient than electric cars and gasoline powered cars. All right, be willing to fucking bet. And the reason why we don't have that readily available is, well, because the world is the way that it is, right? Mr. Perez says, yes, I almost forgot that one. 3D printing is decentralized manufacturing. I mean, that's basically what it is, right? Like you no longer have to go to the store to go get your goods, service, or thing or need, right? You can just get the 3D printing materials and then plug it in the 3D printer, and boom. Now, the one problem with that would be to find a way to, because at the end of the day, like I bet, one or two or three companies are the only ones that end up like making the product for the 3D printer. So if you could find a way to make your own, that would be sweet. And basically, guys, the 3D printer that I worked with, if you guys are familiar with like yarns of wool or whatever, it was like, you guys are familiar with weed whackers. Do I have any men in this chat that have ever weed whacked? Use a goddamn gas power weed whacker, boy? Any men in here ever use a goddamn gas power weed whacker? Y'all know when you get the weed whacking string, you got to cut it, and it's like that's like the material that you put in the 3D printer. So, and I don't think it would be too hard to make like from home, or at least they would to be able to like update or change the way that or what type of input things the 3D printers take. Still hoping they make it good enough to 3D print quality pew pew devices. Yeah, that would be sick, right? Mac Dita says rhymes with N P C. I think if we said the dashes, Max, I think we're good to go. Perez also says with a Form 2, you can use a gray resin to make mechanically functional parts. Did not know that. I don't know anything about making those things. I got a few of those things, but mine are all plastic and fake from a video game. I got one right here on my desk actually, but keep in mind it's just in a video game. Time Graph, only kind I use. Clay Buster says one. One what, guys? Am I dead? One's in the chat if you're alive and well. One's in the chat if you're sacrificing all your crypto to Richard Hart's Pulse Chain. Wade Emery says, yes, I have used one. Cody Mouse says, got an Ender 5 Plus HMU. Send it to me. Do it. Do it now. Gas powered weed whacker. God damn. Okay, yeah, good. Glad. And Cody, I'm glad that you're alive too. Tom Graff says -1. Is that a negative heartbeat, Tom? We're inverse heartbeat now. Sergio says Uno. Okay. All right. Glad. All right. Good. So yeah, guys. Like, what? Clay says RH is live now, guys. Do you want to watch the RH stream on my stream? All right. Well, Hex is pretty centralized, right? But I might have a Hex or two. Who knows? So what's going to happen, guys? I really do think that if you read the book, The Sovereign Individual, and you use that book as your Bible and you just put it up your butt, you'll be okay. I'm kidding. I really do think that book's going to play out the way I think the reality is going to play out the way that the book does. All right, because it pretty much already has. It's pretty much predicted. It's pretty much already predicted everything that's happened so far, right? It predicted crypto, right? It predicted the people. It predicted basically well, I don't want to say it, so let's put the comment. Predicted what Mr. Max Dignitas said in this comment down here, right? It predicted these things, right? It predicted it's predicted a lot of things, right? So I think that's what's going to happen. Now, how long? What's the time frame on this? I don't know. Okay, I really don't know, but I'm willing to suspect that it's within the next 10 years. That I'm willing to suspect all of it's come like over, and we're already on to a more decentralized world before the decade is over, before 2030, right? That. Or those fuckers get their way, and all you motherfuckers succumb and let the GREATRESEC happen the way that they want it, and then then we're all just then we'll all be really plugged in, won't we? Or we'll all be dead because they'll take all this out. They'll take all my guys in here out. I know that. But then your kids will, if you have any kids, you have a legacy, or your dogs, they'll be plugged in for sure, and they'll be harvesting their blood and their meat and their flesh for to make Soylent Green to give people. Oh boy, that was deep. But it doesn't have to play out that way, right? The great man that I love very much, Mr. Jonathan MLD, once said, "Do you guys really think that the government just has 100% track record of never always fucking things up and never letting things like of always controlling everything 100% of the time and things never fucking up the way that they want it?" Because they don't. Because if they did, the United States of America would have never been formed, right? If they did, well, a lot of things wouldn't have happened, right? And thus, I think this will be over in the next 10 years. If we don't succumb to the GREATRESET. Well, actually, you know what? The great reset could go one way or the other, right? So we get all when I say the great Ceticus from now on, you guys can just think of like either ending up positively or negatively, all right? So that's what I think is going to happen, guys. And like, there really is nothing that you can do other than just do what you're supposed to do. All right, now that sounded dumb, but I'm not saying to go and be like fucking preppers, and I'm not saying to like go and like hide like gold underneath the attic floorboards or whatever. Right, guys. Definitely like take care of yourselves. Definitely stay in preparation, but don't let the negativity of what's going on in the world like get inside of your head. Okay. Because that's exactly what they want. How can a man think calmly and collectively and make logical decisions if he's shrouded with negativity? I know that I can't, guys. I know that for sure I can't. All right, which is why I live in a fucking echo chamber. Which is why I only associate with the people in my group, or very close friends, or my mentor, or anyone else. I don't associate with fucking anybody. All right, I don't, because I cannot function with negativity in my life. Because I'm a hyper-focused individual. And so if I have negativity in my life, I'm going to be hyper-focused on it. The first thing I'm going to be thinking about when I wake up, how can I solve this problem? This negative problem that's in my face, how can I solve it? I need it done now. And so I either have to completely avoid it or I have to solve those problems as soon as possible, or else someone's going to fucking die, right? In a video game, not in real life, because I would never, ever do that in real life, right? So obviously, like, don't, I'm not saying like freak out. All right, guys, I'm not saying to do all these like crazy things and like, to be in a place, to put yourself mentally in a place that's going to be unproductive for you. But we definitely can't live, guys. I'm sorry. My 90s guys in here, like this ain't 1995 anymore. This ain't 1997 anymore. Right. Times are not going to be as easy as they used to be. All right. If you guys don't fucking believe me, just you fucking watch and wait and see. All right. Just you wait and see. All the people that are unskilled workers, they're all going to be, well, y'all will probably be fine. All right. I'm not talking to you guys in the chat. I'm talking to the NP-C people who are going to be watching this, the replay. Y'all will probably be fine. But because, you guys will get some USD airdrops wired straight to your FedCoin wallet. But thanks to good old Uncle Sam. All right. And the ice cream man. But what's going to happen is, you're never going to have a family. If you do, it won't last. It won't continue on and to progress into the future. If it does, it won't be much of anything. You'll never be able to have a real job again. You'll never be able to learn a new skill again, and you'll never be able to have wealth. You'll never be able to pass it on to any generation after you. All right, you just won't. If you end up like that, if you end up as one of those people that's sucking off the teat of a system that's dying. Quite frankly, a dying system, literally. It's bankrupt. The United States government is bankrupt. The whole entire world, all governments are bankrupt. And you're depending on a bankrupt, centralized entity run by a bunch of idiots, then you're going to go bankrupt too. And you'll be putting your entire genetic lineage to rest. And you're doing everyone, any one of your children's children after you, if you even have that even happens, if you're even gracious enough to let that happen, or for that to even happen, they're going to be significantly further behind than the people who do, right? And I mean, basically, that's how wealth transfers happen, guys. Like the people that take advantage of these cycles going on in history, they win, and then their family. Here's exactly what happens: their families, basically. They create good times for their families, and their families are just weak men, and they create hard times. And those hard times, they create strong men. So it happens again. Those hard times create decentralization, baby, and that's what's going to happen again. Unless we just somehow start learning after our history. You'd think we would after a while, but Claybuster says it was a lawn care guy when I was younger. Sweet, dude. Me too. I used to cut grass when I was in high school. Perez says, I'm dumping my next checks into the Unibright. What you mean, the Unibright what? The Unibright, what is that? Is that it? Hold on a second. What is this? Is that the... I thought this was an exchange, but it's just a... Bruh. What is this? Come on. What are you doing? What is this? Is this an ERC20 token? All right, Mr. Prez, let's look here. Let me see. All right, let's see what you're dumping your next paycheck into. Let me see. Crucify him. I'm just kidding, guys. Let's give this man a chance first. Let's see. Unibright is a member of the SPO Consulting GmbH, which was founded in 1989. Can someone tell me what GmbH is? Cloud-based integration platform. Oh, hold on a second. Hey, cross-blockchain and cross-system business process integrated of Unibright was launched in 2006. Hey, wait a second. Unibright was an actual company before this was even a thing, right? Like they actually had, right? Yes or no? Am I correct? I'm pretty sure that's fucking right. Unibright used to actually be what did they do? They did Unibright is backed by a team of experts in the field of blockchain as well as architects, developers, consultants that have over 20 years. Is this basically another chain? Yeah, Clay. I know they're a corporation. I just don't know exactly. They used to do something, right? They used to didn't they make servers? Didn't they make cloud computing servers, guys? Unibright? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about this project, bro. I don't know. They got what do they have? A 172 million fully diluted market cap. Yeah, dude, go for it. Honestly, guys, look. Honestly, people are putting their money in. They're buying dog money with their USD money, right? People are literally buying dog money, all right? So, honestly, guys, if someone were to say, all right, Josh, I have you can only take 50 that we're gonna cryogenically freeze you for 4 years. Fuck it, 2 years. 2 years. All right, 2 years. We gotta make this 2 years to make this work. We're gonna cryogenically freeze you for 2 years, and you can only take 50 grand with you in some sort of asset or cash. Actually, it can only be a dog token. It can only be a token with an over 1 trillion supply or cash. What are you going to do? I'd be like, put it in dog money, put it in Doge. I'd rather that than keeping that 50 grand in cash in the bank account, because then by next year it'll be minus 20%, right? So, I mean, honestly, it's probably better than keeping your money in cash. Just kidding. I would hope so. But honestly, I wasn't kidding. It would probably be better than keeping your money in cash. No lie. Clay. Tom says me too. Let's do it. Let's all put it in Unibright. What the fuck what did the Unibright do, guys? Guys, they did something in IT, right? Am I going crazy? Am I a boomer now? Am I getting too old? What's going on? We are on the exponential curve of system failure. Yeah, 100%, dude. I mean, guys, how much more of guys? The United States is the U.S. dollar's time is done. It's already over. It's already over. I mean, look, I don't know how much more to say. It's already over, right? Will it still be the reserve currency for a little bit? Yeah, but its time, its reign, it is over, my friends. It is over. Cody Mouse says definitely do all that. Mr. Perez says hints the Forever Purge movie coming soon. I do not watch any movies. I haven't watched movies or TV shows in a long time because I also try to stay away from that too. But if it's anything like the Purge from my college days, I'm sure it's absolute just predictive programming and garbage. Christina says Hutteries and Quakers seem to have it figured out. LOL. Most of them are completely off grid and huge families. Yeah. They kind of have they have a tribe, right? They have a tribe. So it's like they have a small centralized organization, but it's not like anything like what we have now as far as centralization, right? Perez says UBT plus me equals I don't know. Nick's Legend says I mowed lawns in high school too. East Coast days. Yep, guys. I bet Zoomers don't even know how to use fucking lawnmower. Probably don't even know how to use a lawnmower. Clay Buster says corporation. What, Clay? Could you clarify? Perez says I'm not betting on dog coins. No way, F Shiba. Yeah, but honestly, you'd probably be better off owning Shiba Inu than cash in a bank account. Literally, just saying, if just by the fact that if you could keep, let's just say that you could at least get yield on it, even if so if Shiba and I don't own any dog coins. I never have. Hit up Zebo in the chat if you want. I don't even know Zebo's in here. He's the dog coin expert, all right? But let's just say you buy a doggy coin and it it dumps 5%. All right, or it dumps, let's just say it dumps 20%. Let's just say it dumps faster. Let's just say both Shiba and the United States dollar lose 20% of their purchasing power, 20% of its value in USD, right? Well, if you keep cash in the bank account, it also does that. And then your bank charges you interest. And probably next year it might even be lower than 20%, right? But if you lose the same, if you're still at a loss in the percentage wise of dog coins, if you're like providing liquidity or yielding on it, maybe you can like negate that by 10%. So then you're only down 20%. And at the same time, you're still better than you still had a better preservation on your purchasing power as opposed to just keeping the dollar, which is absolute insanity. That's how you know it's all over, right? That's how you know it's just fucking stupid. Clay Buster says, you may be thinking about Bright Computing. I'm really not sure. For some reason, I think like I think something about something about that company. I think they had their hands into something before other than blockchain. I do have a good amount in Chainlink crypto. Actually, Chainlink's like pretty cheap right now. So I think it's like I don't know if you guys follow Charlie from Cultivar Crypto. If you don't, go to his YouTube channel and subscribe right now, or I'll rope, all right. I mean, he was saying, same thing a bunch of other people are saying too. Chainlink's a pretty good buy right now too. And I guess if you believe in Chainlink, do you believe in the necessity of oracles? Okay, so first of all, what does Chainlink do? If you guys don't know what Chainlink does, Chainlink is an oracle system, right? What is the oracle system? All right, okay, so if you guys know about smart contracts, right? So for example, let's look at the biggest the biggest decentralized computing network or blockchain that utilizes smart contract technology. I need to talk slow so I can stop. So this is slipping on my words. All right. So so Ethereum, right? All right. So you're required to write code in Ethereum in a language called Solidity, which utilizes smart contracts, right? And if you guys know anything about blockchain fundamentals, period in general, or maybe just about like Solidity in a reference to using it on the Ethereum network, whatever, like testnet or whatever, it doesn't matter, right? Mainnet testnet, Ropsten testnet, pink purple polka dot testnet. If you have a smart contract, you can't you basically can't you can't pull in outside data from that smart contract because it's enclosed in the network, right? And Chainlink, which is an oracle is essentially, without getting into specifics, unless you guys want to know a little bit more specific, but an oracle basically is just like the word's origin. It's an oracle. It provides information, right? It's divine. It's a divine information provider. So you can think of that as Chainlink is able to provide data, real world and real time data, by the way, right? To smart contracts on a blockchain, right? And so that's how you can integrate it. That's how we integrate smart contracts and data in real life. So like, how could you get, if you're in a blockchain and it's an enclosed network, how could you get real-time data from, I don't know, like a football game? You couldn't unless you utilize an oracle. So first of all, I guess if you believe, and I don't know how we got too far into Chainlink, but Chainlink was probably, I guess the point would be that everything's so fucked up that Chainlink would be definitely better store value than, in my opinion, than the US dollar. Even with validity taken into consideration for him, because if you believe in blockchain technology, then you believe it's just going to keep growing, which it has been at an exponential rate, faster than the internet was growing in its same amount of time alive, right? And then do you believe that smart contracts will still be used to facilitate majority of this? And so if you do, then you obviously believe that more of the real world is going to be dematerialized and rematerialized into the blockchain, into code, in a decentralized manner. And then you'll believe that, okay, we need some sort of oracle system to provide data. So therefore, all right, there's my logic as to why the Chainlink is better store value than US dollar, right? Because at the same time, if you believe that the US dollar is absolute trash and just it's going to zero, then again, dog coins are a better store of value, right? Clay Buster says GmbH is the German version of an INC. Okay. You asked about GmbH. Okay, yeah. Okay. I didn't know. Thank you. But now I learn something every day. Max Ignita says hard times decrease the people's trust in the established powers that be. Yeah. And why is that? Why is that, Max? Why do you think? I have an opinion on that. maybe the powers that maybe it's not maybe the powers that be are not very intellectually savvy people, right? Unibright is building connecting to Chainlink for companies. Okay. Yeah, who knows? I mean, that might be like a good project. I really fucking don't know. I'd also venture to say there's a boatload of projects out there that are just absolute garbage and just don't do anything. But even the guys, even the dog coins are better than the US dollar, right? So what else is going to happen besides I believe us leaning towards a more decentralized world due to hard times? I think, guys, that the normies are really going to be upset. I think the normies are going to. I think what's going to happen is the normies are going to be stuck on that Fed dollar, right? They're going to be stuck on that Fed coin, and then they're going to see the sovereign ones succeed and do better, and then it's gonna in turn make them angry and make them feel as if they need to lash out, so to say, on the sovereign individuals, right? And so I don't think you're going to be liked very much if you're sovereign. I don't think that people like us are going to be liked by other people that aren't like us. Basically, like they'll probably just want to, I don't know, probably want to take us out back and pound us like a mallard duck. So I don't think that this is going to be like an easy battle, guys. I really don't. But I think we're going to be all right. I think we're going to be all right. And hey, who knows? If we withered these hard times, then we become strong men, then maybe we would deserve to create some good times, right? And then, fuck it. My grandson can take care of that. He'll be fine. He'll be my son will probably be a puss boy, and then my grandson will probably beat him up. So it'll all even out in the end, right? And by then I'll be long gone and 6 feet under, and it won't even matter to me. I'll just be in heaven laughing at the earth. If we're even still alive, we aren't blown up by then. Who knows? Then there will be great eating. LOL. Indeed, we'll do lots of eating. I hope I didn't seem like I came in here in like a depressed mood, guys. I apologize. It's just I was doing a lot of thinking today about the stream, and like I was really thinking about again to preface what I'm about to say. Like I really do live in an echo chamber, and I try to keep like everyone away, as far away from me as I possibly can. Right. So I really don't pay attention to a lot of like the crazy bullshit that's going on in the world. And plus the fact that I basically have like the equivalent of like 4.5 jobs. If you consider Pablo Busco a job too, then that's 5 jobs as well. So like I really don't even have time, and I'm like constantly on the phone all day long. I'm either like face computer or I'm doing something. So I just anytime I hear like anything on the media, blah, get away. And I'm trying to like look. I know the sentiment. All right, I know the sentiment of what's going on. I'm not like blind to the world. All right. Obviously, I see things and I hear things, but I don't pay attention to it. And today I was paying a little bit more attention than I should have. And it just kind of made me hate normies even more, guys. I really do. I hate the normies. And I'm sorry. You can call me like a normophobist or whatever, but I hate normies. Like I just can't stand for. I cannot stand for people who can't. I have zero. My tolerance for people who can't think for themselves is 0. All right, 0, as Dan Pena would say, 0. All right. So like. Having to like think about and read some stuff today, it was just, ugh. And that's why you don't do that. Because how can you be productive? How can if you believe the problem is because all the things that I said today, and you also agree that we need to be more productive people because we produce absolutely nothing in society, and you want to do that, how can one be productive if they're just riddled in this doom and gloom environment that the news perpetuates around us 24/7? You just can't. You can't. And what does the news do, guys? Like, what the fuck did the news do? Like, do you guys think that the news appropriately provides us with informative and important information that's beneficial for us and for our safety? And I don't know. Like, I don't think is it beneficial for our safety. Do I need to know about some like riots that happen states away? Quite frankly, guys, I really don't. I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't. Like, it doesn't affect my life. I feel for people's lives who it was affected by, but as far as me, no. And in fact, if there was a riot here, I'll be gone later. Do I really need to know about like the color pink, purple polka dotted dinosaur that had a party or whatever? I don't care. Do I need to know about like Kim Kardashian? No, I definitely don't, and I don't fucking care. All right. So like, what is the news? And and that's assuming if the news is truthful. Do you think that everything the news says is truthful and with good intent? Do you think that they don't have like, because I don't think this. I don't think that the news is truthful 100% of the time. I don't think that they have good intentions. I don't think that I get any benefit from watching the news at all or whatsoever, right? When we have the internet, when we literally have the internet, a decentralized medium of information exchange, why would I trust a single centralized point of authority that is being given money by certain people for special interest purposes? Like, why would and everything they do is negative? Can I learn any? Am I gonna, if you put your child in front of a TV and just put it on like the news for 10 years in a row, like 10 years straight, all right, versus you put a child in front of books for 10 years straight. Like, which one do you think would come out with like more hands-on real world, real world technical skills or abilities to like be productive in a member of society? I'd venture to say it'd probably be one that did neither of those two, but out of those two, it'd probably be the ones that read the books, right? Max Dignitas says blockchain heaven. Yes, indeed. That's where I want to go, is I want to be stuck in the blockchain forever and ever. Amen. Cody Mouse says, same, to be honest. Normies awaken an inner anger deep down. Yeah, they do. They're kind of like very punchable, right? Like, they're ignorant. They can't go past first gear of thinking, so they're always in first gear, which, you know, if you guys know anything about driving a car in first gear, it's like, well, can't you put that in second? You know, you're damaging yourself and you're wasting a lot of gas, and it's also really noisy. But nope. Wade Emery says the news leads blind people off a cliff. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, hold on, Wade. I got a clap for you for that one. That was really good. That was a good analogy. Yeah, the news leads blind people off a cliff. It's like they have no. And another thing too, to be able to tell like a boomer that the news is just not going to benefit them. I mean, good luck. Clay says the news is propaganda. I probably can't say that word either. I got to be careful. I have seen events that were quote reported end quote that what was reported did not resemble what I saw. Yep. I mean, we heard stuff about that all the time, right, guys? Max Dignitas says the news is there to make money, not inform you. The more uninformed someone feels, the more money they feel they need to watch more news. Yeah, exactly. Dixon in the house. What's up, man? News is really just propaganda these days rather than quote unquote news. Yep. Couldn't say that any better. Press says news spreads worry and drama. News is over a certain state of mind, not masculine. Yeah, exactly. And guys, notice like the tempo of all. Like, let's just go, guys. You guys want to do an experiment of how to feel bad? Let's do this here. I gotta reach over here to my actual keyboard on my machine and not this external keyboard. But give me 1 second, guys. Let's do a social experiment. Let's just go to, I don't know, let's go to like CNN.com. Right? Let's just see if the news is bullish or bearish on life. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that we're going to see anything on CNN.com that is bullish on life? Or do you believe that everything we're going to see right now is just, it's all over. It's all over. Life's going to zero. What do you guys think? Let's see. I don't know. Hey, I think that CNN is probably going to be bearish on life. So let's see. Let's put this up nice and big for you guys to be able to see it. All right. 1 in 5 COOF cases this week were in Florida. All right. It's pretty bearish. Let's see what else we got here. Let me utilize this thing right here. Let me utilize the Macintosh Magic Pad. All right. Federal judge blocks new DACA application and says program is legal. So first thing we see here is sad dude getting a jab saying that, oh my God, it's all over. And the next thing we see, people protesting in the street. All right. And then we see just a friend rapper died at 57. So now we see someone dying. All right. And then what's this one say? Old cars with higher mileage are worth real money now. All right. So we have one bullish thing. All right. So, hey, your car that's old with high mileage, now you can get money from it. All right. So that's, I mean, I guess some people could be happy about that. I wouldn't be necessarily super happy about that, but okay. What else we got? Let's see. Lindsey Graham says he'd go to war to defend Chick-fil-A. All right. I think I would say that's neutral. Fingerprint found on a 500-year statue may belong to Michelangelo. All right. I think that's irrelevant, but that's okay. So I would consider this actually be like, this is actually, I mean, it's irrelevant to my life, but this is actually something that, like, might be like considered like newsworthy. All right. Hey, that's kind of a big deal. Michelangelo, hey, made the statue. All right. Courtney Cox's teen daughter chooses between young Joey. Okay, this is just absolute rotting of your mind. This is just nothing of going to benefit anybody. Caitlyn Jenner defends out-of-state travel ahead of California recall election. All right. I mean, more drama about kids of Aldrin, Armstrong, Lavelle are more and more described growing up. I mean, I guess that's cool with people who like that guy. Subway CEO says we're changing everything except our tuna. All right. But anyway, point being, guys, I mean, look at the first thing you come on this page. All right. What is this, guys? If you don't even read anything, literally, if you don't read anything, you just like look at the pictures. What is the sentiment that you get? What are the feeling? What do you feel? Now, I know to be a man, a lot of times you're not supposed to be so focused on what you feel, but like, what, guys? You look at these pictures. What are you feeling inside? Probably like shit, right? Probably just bearish on life, right? So I didn't even have to check. I swear I didn't check CNN's website beforehand or at all or ever, right? I just don't. So I didn't know that they were just going to have a bunch of just bearish bullshit homepage. But how did I know? I don't know. Maybe it's because the news starting to become pretty fucking predictable, right? Pretty fucking predictable. Oh my God, it's all over. We're all going to zero. Our lives are going to zero, right? So what purpose do they serve other than to just produce negativity in your life? I would venture to say nada. Clay says, all bearish. If it bleeds, it leads. Yes, indeed. Cody Mass says hashtag rug because I left the camera. Perez says bearish like a bear attack in the Revenant movie. Cody says worth, quote, real money. Grouchy is what Wade Emery says he felt. Dixon says disgusting. Me too. That's probably a very accurate word. Very accurate. Disgusted is probably the most accurate word I could label on that. Wade Emery says, or Mr. Perez says, and remember, Florida got rid of the mask mandate, aka edict. Yep. That's why I'm over here, guys. Max Didita says, happy people who feel good don't stay inside scrolling news websites. All right, Max, you deserve one too. Dixon says 100%. And guys, it's like, I mean, we got a smaller crowd in here tonight as opposed to the last couple nights, right? And because we're not talking about any kind of like juicy topic, right? We're not talking about, we're actually talking about like things that are kind of not the most fun topics to talk about, right? Like, but, like that's why people don't want to accept a lot of these realities, all right? But as long as you can accept that they're true, then you can prepare and accommodate for them, okay? And that goes with anything that happens in life, anything that's bad that could happen to you in life, right? As long as you can accept the truth, then you can have the ability to prepare accordingly, and thus you can have a better outcome, all right? So the first step is acceptance. You have to accept the world is the way that it is. And this goes with literally anything, all right? If something really bad happens to you, if you don't accept that it's the truth, then how can you prepare, right? Or if you don't accept that it's possible for it to be true, how could you ever possibly prepare? In your mind, you're not even going to get, that's what I said about the second gear motion of thinking in your mind. If you can't accept these things to a reality, then you never ever get to the part where you're thinking about it and how to navigate through it clearly, all right? And so then also, then you'll be able to have a better life if you can do that, right? So it just is what it is. There's no need to be doom and gloom about it, right? Like if you know that there's a problem somewhere, there's something, then there's also a problem to be solved. That's one way. That's one way to look at it, I would say. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys got something out of that. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me you love me. Guys, I'm about to get I think I need to get the light camera hooked up so that I can, put the camera on light and you guys can harass him, because you guys want to see what he's doing right now? You guys want to see? Look at him. What is he doing? Why is he doing that? Before he gets sent off to school, because he's going to go back to school probably like August, mid-August, right? So everyone needs to see light before he goes up to school. Black Sheep says, I love you, Josh. Thank you, Black Sheep. I love you too. I love you all. Thank you, Wade, for coming to the show. Guys, I don't really know. Okay, so I have Andrew from Legal Mindset, Andrew Esquire from Legal Mindset coming on Monday. I might do a impromptu stream tomorrow, but I don't think it would be the Project Freedom. I think it would just be some sort of topic. But after Monday, I might have Greg B on again on Wednesday. We might get Greg B regularly on Wednesday, just talk about like financial stuff. But we'll see. But other than that, guys, if you guys have something you would like to hear me frantically and sporadically and eccentrically rant about, or just talk about, or if you guys had something you guys want to learn about in particular, like legit, guys, if you want to learn about I don't know, whatever, on the Project Freedom podcast, we'll do it live. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Blue Tick Hound. Wait, Emery says no. That is he is a German short hair pointer. Although I have had people ask me that before too. Like Cody says, I love you. Max Anita says, I love you like Christian Lagarde loves funding cryptocurrency. Dude, fuck that guy. You know what? Fuck Elon too. G@Y Frogs is always a fire topic. LMAO. That was a good topic, wasn't it? That was. Don't worry, guys. I'll think of a new one. So, sorry, dude. Guys, I'm so glad I didn't decide to do a show 7 days a week, because I would have to like scrape. I would literally have to go to CNN.com to get topics to talk something about, and that's not something I wanted to be doing. Right? Do not want to be going to CNN.com to get topics. And I also don't want to be talking about shitty topics like the world's over, like kind of like we did tonight. Although, you know, the point of tonight was not that the world's over. It's just that it's just beginning. It is just merely starting to begin, my friends. So, we could talk about technological unemployment, because there's a lot of like arguments that go back and forth about that. But also that could have kind of a negative thing. You know, I don't know. I don't know if that's like the best thing to be talking about, because it might rub some people too much in the right way, and they might get too hard over it, and it might rub some people a little too the wrong way. They might get too soft over it. So we'll have to see. But yeah, guys, if you have anything you guys want me to discuss or talk about, drop a comment below. Send me an email, josh@eatliftprogram.com, or go to either one of these. Go to my Instagram, do something. I don't know. Show up at my front door. Actually, if you show up at my front door, you better take me out to lunch first, because like, you know, Black Sheep, can we talk muscles? Yeah, we can talk muscles. What anything specific about muscles? Like, we can just talk. You want to do like another stream like we did the other night, the G@Y Frog stream? We could do that. Talk about how one can utilize fitness to be less codependent on the crappy system that we're in, and thus be more free. Because honestly, like, health is freedom, right? I mean, if you're not healthy, it doesn't matter. If you're not healthy, and it doesn't matter how much money you have, like, you're not free, because you'll be dependent off of a doctor or somebody to take care of you, right? So Matt W says, better late than never. What up? Maybe your routine, best diet route. I mean, dude, honestly, my best diet route is not people don't like my diet because it's painful. Okay. I have one client right now, and I literally only have one fitness client right now, guys. I had two, and pretty much everyone that I ever have as a fitness client, they'll do it for like a month or two, and then they just go back to normal life. It's not, and I promise you guys, I mean, it's not, or it doesn't matter. You don't have to believe what I say. It's not because of me. It's because people just give up. They realize they actually have to put hard work and effort into it. It's just fact of the matter that, I mean, unless you have the desire to do something and stick something through, you're never going to do it. The same thing goes with like programming. Like, if you wanted to get a job to become a developer and you don't know shit, if you don't stick it through, you're not going to make it. Right. And I have one guy, and he's actually stuck it through, and he's doing great, but he's actually, he doesn't like diet, because I use the same kind of diet for him that I would have for anyone, because it works, and it's the same stuff that I used to do when I prepped for show, and stuff that I learned from other people. And so it's not like there's Black Sheep. There's really nothing like great or anything about like my particular approach to diet. All right, it's just not fun. It's not glamorous, and it's just it's tedious, and it's also involves being very hungry. Because honestly, guys, if you're not hungry, you're not losing weight. It's just a fact. Don't care what the fuck literally don't care what the fuck anyone says. Don't care what anyone say. You can take as much drugs as you want. You can do as much cardio as you want. If you're shoving your face full of $1 million worth of Big Macs a day, which is just at least one Big Mac in 2028, like the introduction to the show. But if you ate one Big Mac a day, you're not losing weight. I'm serious. Like even if you're below, even if just eating a Big Mac itself and that's it, you're below caloric maintenance. You maybe you'll lose weight for like 1, 2, 3 weeks. You'll still it won't work. So it is what it is. What it is. Health is freedom. It is. Yeah, it is. Matt Debbie says health is wealth. In good times and in end times, and keep in mind, guys. I mean, you guys can just randomly ask questions in the chat about whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't have to be topic related per se, although that would be nice and polite, right? Cody Mouse says facts. Everyone I try to help with diet fitness quits or do it half-ass, which you might as well not do at all, right? That's the thing. When I was in college competing, people would always come up to me and they're like, "Dude, like, can you help me with diet?" And I would literally spend like my free time, like an hour of my free time, like doing math, like examining them and using my brain and my my mind and things that I knew about the person to like comprise a plan for them because they were a friend, and I would lose like 1 or 2 hours of my life doing that, and then they just wouldn't do anything. So after that, I just was like, I'm not helping people with fitness again unless they fucking pay me, because it's just a waste of my time. Matt Debbie says eat clean and be mean. Yes, indeed, and be lean. Max Signita says I can't afford Big Macs. Those things cost $1 million US. Indeed, they do. We have a new intro for the show coming up soon. It's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same exact song, but we're gonna have a little bit of the guy that drew the picture of light in the intro. He's also drawing a beautiful picture of John McAfee. So it's gonna be a video, actually, a drawing video. So I haven't even seen it yet, and I hope we all are pleasantly surprised by it. Yes, my appetite would go away when I know my sardine meal is coming up. LOL, dude. I used to eat sardines as like my meal number 2 in college. I swear to God. And I actually love sardines too, but they're so fucking cheap, and they're oh God, I love sardines. I love anchovies on pizza. Guys, don't hate me here, right? You guys don't unsubscribe for me, guys, because I eat anchovies on pizza. I actually don't do it that regularly. I just love it. I just don't. I usually eat pineapples on pizza, to be quite honest with you. Matt Debbie says Macflation cries soy tears. Yeah, that's another thing too. The Mac, like, what else? Okay. You guys saw Greg B was on the show the other night. I know I said I was going to finish, but now we are here talking again. It's okay. I would like to at least get my thoughts out. Let me fix my camera too. You guys saw Greg B on the channel the other night. We were talking about the ending of the McDonald's dollar menu, right? And like, not only are they like taking those lower price point things away, but what else are they doing? They're also at the same time like they're adding filler to these meats. So instead of having to, all right, they can try to like keep their prices the same if they make the quality, if they can keep, if they can make the quality, or they can reduce the quality and save on cost by doing that, they'll do that. So basically, like, it's like if you were to buy Tylenol, 100 milligram Tylenol tablets, but in actuality, they're actually 90 milligram Tylenol tablets, and then they start making them 80. And then inflation keeps getting higher. They make them 85 milligrams, and then 70 milligrams, and then 65. And then no one really knows until they take it to a spectrum lab test, and they put it through like they shoot some rays of light through it, literal UV light rays to find what sort of chemical matter is inside of there. And they're like, oh shit, this isn't 100 milligrams Tylenol. This is 65. Hey, Tylenol, why the fuck do you guys do that? You guys not think we would find this out? They're like, oh well, because the inflation, we had to keep our price down. That's what they do with the meat at McDonald's. They do with everything too, and it sucks because McDonald's is like, guys, original McDonald's. It's like, that's America right there, baby. And this ain't America no more, boy. Sorry, you. Nick Sledge's pineapple pizza master race. Yes, indeed, my friend. Nick Sledge, fast food chicken, quote unquote chicken is 40% soy. Yep, yeah, guys. Lo and behold, it has begun. So it was written, guys. So it was written. So it will become. All right. Hard times create decentralization. All right. Don't you fucking worry. If you stick it out, we're gonna be okay. I fucking promise. I know my boys. We're all gonna be okay. You other guys out there, I don't know. You better get on the bus or get out of the way. That's all I got, guys. I'll see y'all in the chat. I'll probably do live stream. I'll probably, if I'm feeling up to it, I'll probably do a pop-in live stream tomorrow. If not, I'll probably make a small video. But that's all I got. I love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I am out.